Welcome to Screen Riot. This week's movie is The Hunt for Red October, a thriller from 1990. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to stream on AMC Plus or to rent on all the major streaming services. So go check the movie out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot. Welcome to Screen Riot, the podcast where we review movies chosen entirely by fate. If you're having difficulties finding movies to watch, then this is the podcast for you. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and alongside me are co-hosts Eddie, Kyle, and John. And if you're watching us on YouTube, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and comment below if you disagree or even if you agree with our review. And let us know what movies you'd like us to see, if you'd like us to do as a show, whatever. So this is The Hunt for Red October. Like I said, it's rated R. It has a runtime of 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it was directed by John McTiernan. So it's basically about this Soviet-Russian commander. Yeah, I guess technically
Lithuanian.
Scottish. Yeah, his accent definitely goes in and out. Which we'll get into, but it's about a Scottish. God dang it! You made me say Scottish now.
He's Russian in the film. Okay.
Yes.
Let them sing.
About a Soviet era commander of the Red October, which is a submarine. He basically goes AWOL from the military, and he decides that he wants to defect, and he's basically being chased by his own countrymen and the United States, who doesn't realize he's wanting to defect. And he's basically Alec Baldwin plays Jack Ryan, who. What?
I was just saying, Alec Baldwin.
That's Alec Baldwin. But Alec Baldwin plays Jack Ryan, who thinks that he is trying to defect. He thinks he got him. He knows him. He has him locked down. Before basically World War III explodes. So that's basically the gist of the movie. So like I said, this is directed by John McTiernan. I think everybody knows who John McTiernan is, right? He was the director of like Predator, Die Hard, Last Action Hero, which I'm sure Eddie loves that movie.
Oh yeah,
it's a classic.
No.
No.
Nope. Should have been the last movie ever made, too. It was awful.
Yeah.
But anyway.
He also did the Thomas Crown Affair, Die Hard with a Vengeance, all kinds of stuff.
Thomas Crown Affair was pretty good. Rene Russo gets scantily clad in it quite often, so not a bad movie.
I guess so. So this has won an Oscar. It won for Best Sound Effects Editing, but it was nominated for Best Sound Editing.
Gotcha.
And it was also nominated for Best Film Editing. So nominated for 3 things, won.
Nice.
So
What did you edited really well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was edited very well, I thought, because I mean, hell, it didn't seem like a 2 hour and 15-minute movie to me. I mean, we were like 30 minutes left in the film, and I'm like, oh, wow, that was quick.
Yeah. The only thing really I had a problem with the editing was when Jack Ryan's in the Situation Room, whatever you want to call it, and he basically has the idea. Wait a minute, this guy might actually be trying to defect and not start World War III or go AWOL or whatever. And then I believe it's literally the next scene where we have the Connery's character.
No, Marko Ramius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sitting down with all of his like inner circle of defectors, and then he basically goes, "Well, gentlemen, we're going to be defecting," kind of thing.
Before we sailed, I dispatched a letter to Admiral Badorin, in which I announced our intention to defect.
I wish they would have put that dinner scene or whatever a little bit further down, so that the audience could play with that idea a little bit longer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would be in their mind more. Okay, wait, is he really defecting? Is Ryan right, or is this guy really gonna go AWOL and blow up
start
the East
World War
Coast?
III. Yeah.
Well, it's a thriller minus all the thriller is basically what takes place there. Like you aren't left to any kind of like what if, sort of mystery or any kind of guessing of whether or not, like you said, whether or not Ryan is correct. I don't know. There's a lot of this movie to me that feels very spoon-fed, and that is a great example of how it just seems to be like, okay, well, it's overly it's not ambitious per se. It's sort of the opposite of ambitious. It just seems to give the audience every single step. Like it points out the damn doors on the sides of the submarine 53 times to say this is a technologically advanced sub. Oh, is it a technologically advanced sub? Have you seen that it's technologically advanced? Yes, I did. I looked at the pictures. It's technologically advanced. Every fucking scene. And it's like, why? Why is there this constant need to just hammer us over the head with, it's got a Caterpillar drive. Oh, a Caterpillar drive. What's a Caterpillar drive? It's a Caterpillar drive. Like over and over and over again. It's like, good God, man. The only thing they didn't do was come out and say, by the way, we're making a little mini sub with this collar lock that will be universal that we can later use in Act 3 to be able to dock with the sub from Russia that we don't actually have a collar lock for. But because we have a rescue sub with this universal collar lock, we'll be able to use it. Oh, wait, they did do that too. It's just, I don't know. That part in particular is a little overdone.
They got around it by calling it not calling it a collar lock. It's a soft lock.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so it's rubber instead of metal.
It's the thank God we invented the insert thing here in a movie.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, it's Chekhov's gun as well, right? I mean, they pointed out so that we can use it later on in the movie. It's just, I don't know. It just the movie to me feels very
Yeah, but that's a payoff. Yes, I mean, but that's a payoff that works.
No, it does. Of course it works, but that's the point. Is it's more than a popcorn movie because everything about it is so formulaic. I mean, again, I love Sean Connery. I think that he's a phenomenal actor. I love his acting in this movie, even though it's a little bit stereotypical 1980s Russian. That being said, I enjoy it. I enjoy a lot of the people that are in the movie. The problem I have with the movie is probably the writing. That's probably the biggest issue. That and Alec Baldwin sucks in everything he does.
You don't miss much, do you?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
I mean,
actually.
I thought the script was pretty good. I mean, It's got a hell of a lot of memorable quotes, like, Russians don't take a dump, son, without a plan.
What's his plan?
His plan?
Russians don't take a dump, son, without a plan. And senior captains don't start something this dangerous without having thought the matter through.
What's he gonna do? Sail into New York, pop the hatch, and say, "Here I am"?
It might be just that simple, yes.
And then I like how he quoted it back, but he's like, "Ruskies don't take a dump, son, without a plan." I just liked it. That was funny.
I'll say this. I mean, it's not a movie I hate. I don't hate this movie, but Alec Baldwin as Jack Ryan is my least favorite Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what's our favorite Jack Ryan?
Well, yeah,
actor?
run down who else played Jack Ryan so far.
Well, you
Tom
got
Cruise,
Harrison
for sure.
Ford.
Yeah, Harrison Ford did.
Yeah, Harrison Ford in Patriot Games. Mm-hmm. You've got Chris Pine.
Okay.
We got
else?
Tom
Who
Cruise,
else?
right?
No, Tom Cruise was Jack Reacher.
Oh, that's Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
Oh wait, not Chris Pine.
Well, wasn't there an Amazon series?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
there's
the guy from The Office.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krasinski.
That's right. Because he
And
played Jack
there's-
Ryan, right? Mm-hmm. I never saw it. So.
Alec Baldwin, Ben Affleck, Sum of All Fears.
Yes.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, so Ben Affleck is my number one least favorite Jack Ryan, followed by Alec Baldwin. And then after that, I think John Krasinski's probably my favorite Jack Ryan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
I think it's also because we got to live with him the longest, though.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because we've got like 25 plus hours of him as Jack Ryan. I mean, anytime you spend that much time with a character, it starts to feel like they happen to be there. I mean, John Krasinski will always be Jim from The Office. Even my kids know him as Jim from The Office.
Yeah.
Like, they see him in an action movie, they're like, hey, it's Jim from The Office. And I'm like, he's a different guy in this one. But let's see what happens. Let's see if Jim can pull this one off.
This is a really buff Jim.
Yeah.
I mean, could you see him like in some different movie where he just like does a mug for the camera and it like zooms in on him like The Office style?
I kept waiting for it in that movie he did, the horror movie with
With the
Oh,
yeah, what was that called?
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place.
Yes.
Well, the Office is a documentary of his undercover identity.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
See, we're starting to make movies again.
It works.
It
It's
does.
better. It's better than The Hunt for Red October.
Oh,
So
shots fired.
now, in all honesty, I mean,
Torpedoes launched.
Torpedoes away.
I think they took the formula of dump as many big actors into one movie as possible and hope that it saves the film, and I think they did that. I mean, Tim Curry's in it. Who isn't in this movie? You know?
Yeah, no, Sam Neill's in it, which I love. I love his character in this.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't do too much, but I've been rewatching Peaky Blinders lately, and freaking love Sam Neill and Peaky Blinders.
Sam Neill's a good actor, man. He's
I
got
totally
edge.
forgot that Stellan Skarsgård was in this movie.
Yeah, I
As
didn't either.
Tupolev or Tupolev or whatever.
Yeah, I
it's
remember
like,
seeing him
man.
in the credits, in the opening credits, and I was like, I don't remember him at all in this, but he's the for our audience, he's the Russian sub who he's trying to take out.
He's the
Red
Russian
October.
sub. Like,
Yeah, he's the whole Russian sub. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he might as well be. What's kind of funny about that is like the realism of, okay, supposedly, Ramius is being hunted down by like the entire Russian fleet, but the only ones we ever really spend any time with or see are, Stellan Skarsgård's sub. That's the only one, and it's like all the rest of them are out there, but are they? Yeah, they are. They're totally out there. They're in the water somewhere. Where? Show us. Just show us one. Show us one other one. Can you do that?
They only had one model and one pool to
Well,
work.
that's what's weird. I mean, down Periscope, right? That shitty comedy with Kelsey Grammer managed to drum up like.
That's a great comedy.
You said genius wrong.
I'm just saying they managed to drum up like 50, models for that movie, but then for The Hunt for Red October, they can come up with one other Russian sub besides the one that they're in. Apparently, it just is. It's strange that they were so cheap on that front. I mean, there had to be more B-roll out there somewhere of some subs. Or just reuse it. You flip the film over, reuse the same piece over and over, so that we don't notice.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what they did. They had a scaled sub model for the Red October, and they filmed it in a pool.
wow.
And basically they had half of it was like detailed,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
then anytime they showed it from the left, I think it was the left side of the sub was detailed, so they'd show it that way. And then anytime they just flip it around, and they'd show it from the right side. But the other side was like just holding everything together.
Oh
kinda
God,
thing.
there's like
So there's
it's
only
like one of
one
those models
Caterpillar
that
engine.
yeah, it's like one of those models that is sliced down the middle.
What's
Yeah.
funny is
Only show this side.
What's funny is you actually literally just described the way that Alec Baldwin works as well. It's really funny that you described that with such such finesse.
I need to mark down how many times can we shit on Alec Baldwin in this podcast.
Oh, let's be honest, he's done it to himself. I mean, just remember, this is my safety. Anyhow, yeah, I just wish that they had maybe picked somebody else to play Jack Ryan in that case. But other than that, I mean, the movie itself, as far as actors go, I thought the acting was done pretty well.
Well,
Yeah.
the original script was offered to Harrison Ford first.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Before Alec Baldwin, but he turned it down because, from what I read, was he thought that the script focused too much on Ramius, and he wanted to be more on Jack Ryan.
Interesting.
But I didn't really think the film did that. Maybe the script that he read did. Who knows? But I didn't think I thought it was kind of equal, really.
Yeah, maybe they're like, oh, Harrison Ford said too much Ramius, so we need to cut this out. So
Maybe.
It's
maybe.
very possible.
rewrite it.
Yeah, I didn't think it spent too much time on Ramius personally, but then again, it was a book by Tom Clancy first, so that, I don't know, maybe the book spends more time on Ramius.
Well,
Yeah,
Ramius is
I've never actually read the book, so
Me either.
Yeah.
But Ramius is the to me he could be misconstrued as the main character in the film because everybody is talking about Ramius.
yeah.
That's who they're talking about. That's what they're going after, and they're showing him, and he's in this big leadership role. Whereas Jack Ryan, he's just an analyst with a glorified deckhand political guy.
I'm not a naval officer. I'm with the CIA.
CIA?
Well, I'm not an agent. I just write books for the CIA.
Whatever. Sit down and do exactly what I tell you.
Right? So he downplays himself, and the character is downplayed. So I mean, I could see why Harrison Ford would think that okay, it focuses too much on the supporting actor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they did a good job of splitting the characters up like with equal time. I mean, I think the Ramius plot line was a lot more interesting just because he's the one being hunted. So I mean, I would think that you would focus more on them than you would being on the people who are hunting them.
Well,
I
and
don't
it's
know.
Sean Connery. It's Sean Connery
Yeah.
too, because I mean he's going to overshadow whoever else is in the movie.
Yeah.
Unless you put in a Harrison Ford or a Tom Cruise or somebody of that stature.
Yes.
Alec Baldwin didn't stand a chance. He couldn't outact Sean Connery.
Can out
Well,
me, boy.
speaking, you can't outact me, boy. Speaking of Ramius' character, do you know how much they spent on his hair?
I do know this story. Yeah.
Yes.
His hair?
Yes.
Yeah.
That hair is not real.
Oh god.
It
It's
is
a
a
toupee.
it is a toupee.
Well, the actual toupee is only like $10 or something like that.
Yeah, but they actually had to pass it off as a ponytail haircut. So they spent $20,000 on this toupee.
Yeah. Okay. So let me break it down. So what happened is apparently Connery decided that his character was going to have a toupee or a ponytail,
Yeah.
and so he showed up to set with a pony. He went behind the director's back and went to the makeup and hair department and said, "Give me a ponytail." So him and John McTiernan had a big fight about it, but since it's John Connery, he won out. So they started shooting. They shot, I believe, like 2 days worth of stuff with him
Yeah.
in his ponytail. And then I guess when somebody was watching the dailies, it was either the cinematographer or the editor or something. They basically said that the ponytail looks like like a floppy dick, and was laughing about it. And that got basically around the set, and everybody started laughing about it. And I guess Sean Connery caught wind of it, and it pissed him off so much that he decided to cut the ponytail out of the thing. So he went back with what John McTiernan wanted him to originally wear.
Yeah, which
The-
was like a $10.
Yeah, it's like a
thrift
10 or
shop
$15
thing.
haircut. Or,
Yeah, the original
toupee.
toupee was 20 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, but they had to go back and reshoot those 2 days,
Yeah.
which cost $20,000 to go and reshoot.
Yes.
So yeah, so in essence, it's a $20,000 toupee. Yeah,
Coming out of your pay, Connery.
it should have.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Well, what are you
Old
gonna do?
floppy dick Connery, that's what I call him.
I mean, you can't say no to Sean Connery.
Right.
I mean, Sean
Surge.
Connery can't
Sean
say
Connery.
no, so that kind of makes sense. No, whatever the fuck he's.
Another thing too with the cast, they
Oh god.
obviously, I guess Sean Connery actually spent time on a sub to get ready for this role, which is actually really cool because I've noticed that in this particular movie, the commands are very regimented and structured, just like how like a real submarine captain would say it. But I like how everybody was very cool and collect when obviously torpedoes are like whizzing by. I would be scared shitless if that was happening, but that's what you get when you're in a sub. I guess your main weapon is either a torpedo or a depth charge, and that's what's going to kill you, or the actual sea, with leaking and everything.
Yeah, this movie came out in 1990, and I believe I saw it when it came out. Either that or like the year after when it came out on VHS or whatever. And I haven't seen it since. So
Wow.
it was almost brand new to me. I could remember little details about it. Like I remember Sam Neill dying. I remember
Yeah.
that, but beyond that, not much more.
Well,
So,
you'd remember the VHS tape because it was red,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I thought was
yeah.
pretty cool.
yeah, that's true.
But what'd you guys think of the green screen effects or the blue screen
Oh
effects?
man,
They were awful.
top notch.
Perfect.
I mean, they were right there, man.
Especially the end when they're sailing in.
Pixar and DreamWorks, they got nothing on those guys.
Especially when they were sailing into some river. I don't know if it was like the
horrible.
Potomac or something like that. And I think Alec Baldwin's half his face
It's
is
like green.
is
Yeah.
like cut off, and you could actually see the mountains behind his face. And I'm like, oh man, this
Yeah.
actually made the final cut.
Yeah,
This
and you
was
can see-
actually good.
Yeah, you see in his hair where it was
Yeah.
like too blurry for the cameras to depict the
And
green
it was
screen
like
from.
it was like cutting off half his head or something like that, and it was you see the mountains behind him. I was like, oh my god, that's terrible.
Maybe that was the $20,000 scenes they had to go back and reshoot,
Maybe.
and it was rushed.
Those are
No,
the-
that was the half that Eddie was talking about. It's only half of Alec Baldwin there that was showing.
Oh yeah.
That's what happened.
Well, and what's funny is I looked around. I saw some places online that said that apparently one of the biggest slams that they had against them was their use of their effects, which is funny because you said they won for sound. They won
Sound effects. Yeah.
Yeah, they won an award, but for their video effects, they were like slammed everywhere for their shitty video effects because even in
Yeah.
1990 there were better video effects available.
Yeah.
and they just did not do a good job with them.
No.
Which I can't possibly disagree because I mean I'm sorry, but like you guys are pointing out, that blue screen is bad.
Yeah.
That's
really bad.
that's the $40,000 that it took for the toupee and the reshoots they could have used for CGI. That's where that came out of the budget.
Yeah, and
yeah.
go ahead, Eddie.
No, I was just gonna say I just think that there's definitely areas that they should have been better at. Like when I think of like Red Dawn, Red Dawn,
Oh, yeah.
the original one came out like 4 years before this movie and has better effects by far than this
Yeah,
movie
but
does.
I mean, Red Dawn doesn't have any submarines.
You're right. It just has jets and tanks and, and other ICBMs. But you're right.
Explosions and,
It does-
you know.
yeah, and 100,000 people going to war against each other. But you're right. No subs. That's
I
the
mean-
one thing it doesn't.
water's hard to do in special effects,
That is very true.
especially underwater. I thought the only like the good shot, I think the best shot was when they were going through the I guess
The tunnel.
Thor's twins, Thor's towers or something like that.
Thor's twin, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that was probably the best part of the CGI that was done. I guess because that was all practical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
for
they
the
shot
most
it
part,
in a
was-
swimming pool?
It was just composited, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and you guys, did you guys ever see the movie The Abyss?
Well, I think so.
That came out a year before this movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and that had way better effects.
And the
than that, yeah.
effects, they had a fucking water tentacle in that movie. there's a tentacle of water that snakes its way through an oil rig in that movie.
Dang.
That alone, not to mention the water angels and the wave, the ocean waves that stand up and hold in midair and don't
brilliant.
crash down. Yeah, the amount of water effects that movie did that were better than this movie is just innumerable. So
Yeah, because when you talk about visual effects or special effects, I should say, you have to do it in relative, right? Like you have to
Yeah.
look at other movies around that time because special effects jump decades ahead every like 5 years, it seems.
I'm telling you, I think they just spent their money on. In reality, I think they spent their money on talent.
me too.
Yeah.
They
me
did
too.
James Earl Jones and all the other big time
Tim Curry.
named actors
Yeah.
to play those roles,
Mm-hmm.
and in order to do that, they had to pay him some money.
Yeah.
I mean, James Earl Jones alone would have to be expensive. I mean, he's James Earl Jones. He's Darth Vader, for crying out loud.
Yeah, true. It's like this never happened because we were never here.
Yeah, that's right. I actually think that's probably one of my favorite scenes of the movie is when when Jack Ryan finally meets up with Ramius. That scene. And I think they do a really good job with the languages in the movie.
Yeah.
When the Americans first meet the Russians, there's no subtitles. So because obviously the Americans are in like a foreign land basically, and I
Right.
love the transition that they did from at the very beginning when they're talking with Sean Connery and his I guess like his NCO.
That
or
was
something.
the political aid or whatever.
Yeah.
That was
Political
aboard,
officer.
or the
Yeah,
political officer. Yeah.
the political officer. And he was reading a quote from Oppenheimer, and the camera zooms in on his. Well, it doesn't zoom in, but it
zooms into
trucks
his
in.
mouth. Yeah, it trucks in. Yeah,
It trucks into his mouth, and then as he says Armageddon, it starts moving back. Which I didn't realize until doing some research about this, that the word Armageddon is pronounced the same in English and Russian.
Oh wow! Well,
And so
a good
that's why they
transition.
chose that word to do that movement, and I thought that was pretty brilliant.
I on zabralek na mieste. Nazywajmy Pawrieski Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured forth his bowl into the air, and a voice cried out from heaven, saying, "It is done."
And of course, after they come out, then everybody starts speaking English, so
Right.
that the audience doesn't get fatigued. American audiences are idiots, right? So
We don't like to read on screen. We just like to listen.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't we?
Yes.
I mean, I'll watch some subtitle movies. I have no problem watching subtitle movies, but yeah, it's 2.5 hours of not only trying to watch action but also read subtitles gets very tiresome.
Yeah,
It does
I mean,
get tiresome.
they like the show Narcos. It's all in Spanish, and I would like to watch it, but at the same time, I have to read what's going on because I am totally lost and I don't know Spanish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does get a little fatigued, watching that show, but it's a really good show. But anyway, I think if they tried to do all Russian, I mean, it would flop because none of these people are Russian except for I don't know, maybe one or two people. But the rest are like British or Scottish or American. It's just like
or Norwegian, because what's Skarsgård?
yeah,
There's actually-
Skarsgård's Norwegian. Yeah,
Yeah, there's actually quite a few Scandinavians in this movie, believe it
Yeah.
or not. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I don't think anybody would really speak Russian throughout this whole film. I think it would be pretty bad now because it's like if it would be. I mean, sometimes movies do like, with Nazi Germany or something like that, the Nazis would all speak German, but then they'd flip over to the American side or the Allies and they'd all speak English. And, you'd have that change or that flip. So, what's, good and bad or whatever. But I'm glad that they did that truck in and make that transition to English, even though they tried their best to do a Russian accent, but, it didn't really work out that great.
Except Sean Connery, he doesn't.
He
try
just
ever.
he just said screw it. I'm just gonna be Sean Connery. you know?
There were definitely dialogues of him where he would just go in and out and in and out of Russian and Scottish and all. And then I think
Yeah.
at one point he just gave up, and
Yeah.
it's just all Scottish for the rest of the
Yeah,
sentence.
it's like I'll just be Sean Connery. I'm
Well,
through
he's-
with this.
This is your captain. It is an honor to speak to you today, and I'm honored to be sailing with you on the maiden voyage of our motherland's most recent achievement. And once more, we play our dangerous game. A game of chess against our old adversary, the American Navy.
He's basically the Scottish version of the Duke, right? Like, I mean, he's oh Christ, what's the
What,
guy's
John
name?
Wayne?
John Wayne.
Wayne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's basically the Scottish John Wayne. Like, no matter what movie he's in, he's still John Wayne. Mm-hmm. Same thing. No matter what he's in, he's still Sean Connery. So I mean,
Right.
whether he's supposed to be an alien from another planet, see Highlander 2, or
Indiana
not,
Jones'
he's-
dad,
Yeah,
which is
Yeah.
Scottish, and Indiana Jones isn't.
Yes,
it's
apparently
a common
yes.
American name, don't you know?
Yeah,
Dr.
It's-
Jones.
It's pretty bad. I mean, but I don't know. We accept it. I mean, we accept it in America. What do you want to say? You know?
Yeah, I mean it's freaking Sean Connery, man. I mean I can't really diss him that much. But
So beyond the acting, which I think we all agree, the actors that are in it do as good a job as they possibly could with that script. What else really stands out about this movie? I mean, is there anything that you guys can think? I can't think of anything that really I'm like, oh my god, you want to see that Hunt for Red October? Like I don't have that for this movie.
I think it's more of a nostalgic thing for me, anyways. I mean,
Okay.
it's definitely my mom's favorite movie. She absolutely loves this movie, and actually, last night when I was watching this movie, she was actually watching the same movie, obviously, The Hunt for the Red October, almost exactly at the same time, which was really strange because she texted me like a quote, and I'm like, wait a minute, they just said that on my television, like Like,
Is it
where
like
are
a-
you?
like a-
Like,
She has
like a
cameras
mother-
in your house.
Yeah, do you have
It's
a
like
camera in my house or
mother-son
something
bond.
like that?
No, it's a mother-son bond.
Don't get
thing.
any ideas now.
It's creepy.
But but we were kind of like, hashing out like different quotes, and it was just fun. I think this movie is definitely best watching with people. There's certain movies that are best watched with people and best watch alone. I don't know. But I think with this movie, it definitely doesn't really age well, just because of the CGI is really poor. But I don't know. I have a personal spot for this movie, and I think it holds up in the acting world, and that's pretty much it.
Interesting.
Throughout the movie, and I remember the first time I saw this movie too, I was like, man, they are like really smoking a lot of cigarettes on this sub. Like, how in the world they got to have like one hell of a ventilation system?
I was about to say,
Right?
is that a thing? Like, are you allowed to smoke?
And,
No.
and I looked it up. Not anymore.
No.
Oh, you used to be able to.
Not anymore. Yeah, the well, at least in the U.S., the U.S. Navy cut it out in 2010. At the end of 2010, there was no more smoking on the U.S. sub. And oddly enough, it wasn't because of the oxygen supply or the ventilators couldn't handle it. Everything was fine. They had enough oxygen. It was just dirty air. It was the secondhand smoke, and considering they wanted, we want healthy sailors.
Yeah,
I
and
thought
especially
you were-
They said no.
yeah, especially nowadays, subs can be underwater for God. You can be under there for a year.
They typically go out. Yeah, at the time in 2010, they typically went out for 60-day deployments.
Yeah.
Under the water.
Right.
See, I thought you said that the smoke was going to be a hazard to the equipment.
No, oddly enough, yeah,
Oh.
they didn't say it was a hazard to the equipment. I mean, there was they coined the term third hand smoke, which is kind of like some residue on the equipment and then on your clothes and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
They were thinking that could also cause health issues. But interestingly
that makes
enough,
sense.
the same year, 2010, they Congress passed the rule. The rule that banned women on serving on subs was lifted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, yeah, I thought the same thing. Justin was like, it's a nuclear sub. Don't smoke, because it could damage the computers, and because I've seen computers with people that smoke with their next to their computers, and it's
Oh,
terrible.
it looks
It's horrible.
It's
for
awful inside. Yeah.
It's horrible for electronics, and I'm thinking every bit of this submarine is got cabling, it's got fans to cool the equipment, and like all that's going to get tarred and everything.
Well, you got to remember, it is submarines are part of the Navy, so I mean they clean a lot.
That's true, but I mean
that's what they do, man. They
can't
take
really
they take shit
swab the
apart
air.
and clean it.
Cleaning the air over here, boss.
Well, no, you can't. That's why you got to clean the equipment.
Oh, that's wait. You got it just for breeze.
Yeah, there you go.
Making it fresh over here, boss. What'd you guys think about Jonesy?
I like Jonesy.
Jonesy was cool. I liked him a lot. He definitely had some funny parts.
I kept thinking he looked a lot like the actor in John Carpenter's The Thing, the guy that was on skates the whole time.
Not at all.
Oh,
What? Are you
Not
serious?
at all.
I have to look him up to make sure.
I mean, when he first started talking, I thought that it was going to be Samuel L. Jackson. Because the guy,
well, no,
he
you're right.
sounded just like Samuel L. Jackson when he was talking about the story about whales at the very beginning when he's teaching the new guy on how to listen for submarines. And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't remember Samuel L. Jackson being here. I was like, oh no, it's just Courtney B. Vance.
I should go to SAPS.
Correct. Seaman Beaumont Signal Algorithmic Processing Systems. Give it a week and you'll be teaching at Caltech.
Wow.
No, he did. He did sound like him.
Okay. I mean, not really. The only thing that I could see about it was the way he kept pronouncing semen, with Seaman Beaumont. I was
Seaman.
like, this is a refreshing burger. it's one of those Hawaiian burger joints.
This is a tasty burger.
Tasty burger. That's what he says.
But no, I really liked him in Law and Order. He's a district attorney.
Okay.
In the Law and Order
I didn't
series,
know what
and
else he was
I
in.
really like him.
Yeah.
He's been in a bunch of stuff, but I mean, he's had bit roles in like Space Cowboys and ER and stuff like that. But what I remember him from all the time is the ADA in Law and Order.
Gotcha.
Samuel L. Jackson.
I did. I
Jesus
thought he sounded like Samuel L. Jackson. Obviously, just for like a quick second or two, but
Well, yeah, because
Man, that ain't no motherfucking whale.
you hear his
that's a motherfucking Soviet submarine.
you hear his voice off camera for like a good 45 seconds before you
Yeah.
ever see him, and
So
it
you're
does
thinking,
sound
who
a
is
little
that?
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
I
saying.
thought it was too. I was like, that guy sounds like Samuel L. Jackson, but I don't remember him in this.
I kind of wish it was Samuel L. Jackson now, but I mean, he would have been. He definitely would have brought a different color altogether to that role. Like the role wouldn't be quite so respectable.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's a sequel though. Samuel L. Jackson on a sub.
Oh God.
Snakes
Oh,
on
yeah.
a sub.
Oh no.
God. Snakes
No.
on a plane.
Stop
What a
now, because
horrible-
movie producers are probably watching this podcast thinking, "Oh, let's go to Screen Riot and actually get some good ideas."
Snakes on
Horrible
a
movie.
sub.
As they should.
That's right.
We've
Okay.
rewrote some great movies.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys thinking on the budget end of things? How did this movie fare? Just curious.
Well, with the budget, it actually had $30 million for the estimated budget.
20,000 of that was a toupee.
Yes.
Seems kind of low.
I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems a little high.
When
Because
you think about James Earl Jones, Samuel L.
Who's
Jackson,
on screen for a total of 2 minutes.
he's on the screen more than that. He's on screen about 5 different times.
okay, 5 minutes. No.
I don't know. He's in his office, and then he's in the war room, and
Yeah.
then he's at the ending scene.
Yeah.
So okay,
I mean,
maybe
he
5
does,
minutes.
He does play a pivotal part, though. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you've got some heavy hitter actors in this. I'm sure most of this budget did go to those actors. But I don't know. 30 million seems a little high for me. But so did it make its money back?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. You
I
think,
think
so?
yeah, I think this was a hit.
Well, opening weekend it actually got 17.1 million, so over half of the budget, just in the opening weekend. The gross worldwide, 200 million. So
So, yeah.
definitely a good investment, I would say, on the production side.
Surprised there's not a Hunt for Red October 2,
I don't know if that would
where
work.
where he realizes he didn't really want to defect, and he goes back.
Well,
Yeah, he steals
No,
the sub.
The Hunt for Blue November.
Oh,
well, no. Technically speaking, there is a Hunt for Red October 2. It's called
K-19?
Clear and Present Danger. It's called Patriot Games. It's
Oh, yeah,
called
yeah.
Sum of All Fears.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
called. It's all those Tom Clancy, Jack Ryan novels that we all love and enjoy, quote unquote, that are done with better actors than Alec Baldwin.
Eric Bowen.
Well, they approached Alec Baldwin for Clear and Present Danger.
Did they?
They did, and he jacked up his price so much that they're like, "Holy crap, we can get Harrison Ford for that." So they went and asked Harrison.
And he was like, "Never mind, I'll go over here and do the Shadow." Oh
Because
wait.
that was a smart move.
Okay, so here's the problem about the Shadow. I like the Shadow, but it's not a good movie. Like, I'm gonna just be
Right.
honest, 100%. It is not a good movie. But for some reason, I'm like, oh, I don't hate it.
I enjoyed it when I was a kid.
Yeah, right. I think a lot of it's that I get to see Alec Baldwin be tortured. It makes me really enjoy the movie more.
Boy, you really do not
But I
like
enjoyed-
Alec Baldwin.
I enjoyed The Shadow as much as I enjoyed The Phantom when I was a kid.
Oh, dude, the fan was
Yeah, it was not good.
Not
It was
good,
not
yeah.
good at all.
Billy Zane as a superhero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I forgot Jeffrey Jones was in this too.
Jeffrey Jones is in this. Yes,
Yeah, he was the we'll go. Yeah.
The sub guy. Well, no,
Yeah.
he's the sub guy. I was just
The-
gonna say he took
the expert.
He took a break off
Yes.
from being a demon in Howard the Duck, a dark overlord of the universe.
Yeah.
She took my eggs.
Jesus.
or the king in Mozart, or what's that movie? Amadeus.
Or a demon in Stay Tuned.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Stay
I
Tuned.
forgot about Stay Tuned.
Dude, Stay Tuned's one of my favorite, like,
That's a
weird
weird
dark
movie.
comedies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
You know who I
You should
actually
put that up, Buddy. You should put it up.
another guy that I really liked was I think he was like the defense secretary. The guy that was in charge of all the cabinet members or whatever. So he was talking to the ambassador of Russia.
Oh, the guy who's not John Voight, but's kind of like John Voight.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
who is that guy? I totally don't
I can't remember
forget
his name.
But he was actually really good in this movie. I thought his I don't know, his persona of like this is pretty much how American politicians are. You know,
Yeah.
we're all while I'm kissing babies, I'm also stealing their lollipops.
Well, he
Something
was
like that.
he was in a movie called The Secret of My Success with Michael J. Fox. He plays the uncle who owns the whole business that Michael J. Fox goes to work for. That's the movie I mostly know him from.
Okay.
And other than that, I cannot remember his name either. I'm looking right now.
Richard Jordan.
Richard Jordan?
That's his
Is that who
name,
you're
yeah.
talking about?
Yep, Richard Jordan.
Okay, yeah. I did like when
Oh,
you know the Russian ambassador came to him and he was like, "All right, let me level with you. We did lose a sub," and he was like, "You lost a sub?" Like he's trying to act surprised and he's like, "You dumb bitch, we already knew this."
He also plays Duncan Idaho in the first Dune movie in 1984.
Oh, okay.
Never saw the whole thing.
I blanked it out.
Just saying. Just saying.
Oh, and Kyle, it did give me a big laugh when, the Russian ambassador came back for like a third time towards
Yes.
the end. And he's like, we're missing this sub. And he's like,
See,
oh,
that's-
you
others?
lost enough."
See, that's the sequel. That's supposed to be the sequel, but you know, they never.
Oh, it's called
never
The
made.
Hunt for Red October. And it's them trying to find the remains of...
Yeah, it's the hunt for the wreckage of the Red October.
Yeah.
But Trick, it's something else.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes, basically the audience gives it a 88%.
Wow.
And that is exactly the same score for the critics, 88%.
Wow. Never had one of those on our show before.
No,
Of
we have not. That's the
critics
first
and
time.
audience are exactly the same.
Usually it's very very
Kind of
varied.
lopsided on one side or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess let's start scoring this puppy.
Yeah.
Or this sub.
This sub.
I'm kind of hungry.
Mm.
Kind of a Subway.
Get some public subs.
They should make a sub called the Red October.
Yeah. The hunt
got,
for the
like,
Red October sub.
Russian meats in it or something. I don't know.
Mm.
So anyway,
They're all frozen. It's all frozen meat.
It's cold and hard.
so
What are you guys writing exactly?
No, Sean
That was a
Connery
recipe
says,
for a sub.
Yeah, well, Sean Connery said it's cold and it's hard. Like they're talking about the weather on top of the sub.
it's just
at
a
the very
goulash of stuff.
You guys are weird.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, this is probably the first time I've seen this movie, and God, 30 years it feels like. I enjoyed it. It kept me entertained. I think Eddie, you're kind of right that there's the thriller part of it isn't constant, and I think they deflated it a little bit with like what I mentioned earlier about the closest of those two scenes where is he defecting or not, and then he goes, yes, we're defecting. Great. Roll credits. But I wish they would have put that a little bit further, a couple minutes at least, apart, and I think that would have been awesome. Like we said about the special effects, not fantastic. Okay for the time, maybe. I'd have to think about other movies around that time era, and think about their special effects that they're doing. Green screen, awful. just awful.
A little bit.
It actually kind of reminds me of we reviewed on the show before the Robert De Niro and Pacino movie Heat, and that green screen when they're on the where De Niro's talking to that chick that he first meets, and that looks awful. And that was in '95, so
Yeah.
take your pick.
Eddie didn't like that one either.
I know.
It's actually really funny you bring that movie up because that's
Oh, no.
exactly where I was going with this movie.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
I was entertained, and that scores a long way with me. I enjoyed Sam Neill a hell of a lot. He's one of my top actors for sure. I think I'm gonna give The Hunt for Red October. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Solid 8.
Yeah, solid 8.
Right on.
Wow.
Eddie, you can bring it down.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking how my drugs must still be kicking in because I thought I heard you say 8, and that
your voice sounds like you're underwater in a soda.
Well, I just don't feel very good. Sorry. That being said, I feel better after having finished this movie. Overall,
So it made you feel good. It was a feel-good
Wow.
movie.
Wow.
no, I'm happy to be done. That's what I mean.
Oh.
You were happy that it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I mean, The Hunt for October. I don't hate the movie. It's just not very good to me. Like, it's just not done. They didn't seem to do it with any kind of real finesse. They seemed to pay for the most expensive talent that they could and dump it into a jug and go shake, shake, shake. Okay, and Sean Connery and make money. And it worked. I mean, I think they took a gamble because they could have spent more money on other things like we said, effects and somewhat, but and whatnot. But I think they were trying to make it more of a character-driven story. But if you look at the subsequent Tom Clancy films that were made in this miniseries and whatnot that were made, they were definitely spending more money on, the war part of it, the effects part of it, that were showing like, hey, this is a guy, and yeah, he's trapped in in this job, so to speak, that he does happen to excel at, but he's sort of torn, and oh, by the way, explosions. And they didn't do that with this movie. It's very I wouldn't call it two-dimensional, but it's damn near two-dimensional in some ways. That being said, it's not bad. It's just, I think it could have been better. So for me, The Hunt for Red October is right in that heat category. It's a 3.8.
Ooh.
Okay, a 3.8 for Eddie. Kyle?
Yeah, so for being a submarine movie and being a Cold War movie and a drama and a thriller and a documentary type movie, obviously this didn't really happen, but did it happen? Like, the submarine that they used, the Typhoon class, I mean, it looks very similar to what we use today, with the nuclear pods and all that kind of stuff in the front. So it would be kind of cool to think that this actually happened in real life. But I don't know if the Caterpillar drive is actually a real thing, but who knows? It could be.
It is not.
I'm not part of the yeah, Eddie, the little fins coming through. But I think
I'm a caterpillar.
First, okay.
You know what
so,
that reminds me of? It reminds me of the Batman movie with Penguin's submarine. It's got the little flippers on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. So the way to throw me off. The for a submarine movie, it was okay. I mean, I liked the acting in it and everything. But if I was gonna watch a submarine movie, I'd actually watch U-571. That is actually a really good. It's underrated for some reason, but man, I really enjoy that movie. Mainly probably because I like World War II better instead of like the Cold War. But I don't know. I thought that obviously the acting was great. The visual effects were kind of blah, but overall it was still entertaining. It was very, very fast paced for a 2 hour and 15-minute movie. It did not feel like 2 hours and 15 minutes to me. Everything was to the point. I think the story of it kept me involved throughout the whole thing. There was no like down points at all. Like there was no like slow. Like okay, we get it. It's a Caterpillar drive. It's got tubes. Cool. We're hunting the Red October. Move on. None of that for me, anyways. It was very entertaining. For that, I think I'm gonna rate this an 8.2.
Okay. An 8.2 for Kyle. John?
I enjoyed the movie. It was good. I think the best part of it, though, to me, was going, oh, I really like that actor. Oh, that actor's awesome in this other movie that he was in.
Yeah.
You know, now they did a good job in this movie too. But I'm wondering. I got to thinking today. I'm going, okay, would the movie hold up if we didn't have all those actors in it?
If there were nobodies?
Yeah, I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have done as well. The pacing, I agree with Kyle. The pacing was great. I did not. I was surprised. I had to pause it at one point, and I'm like, holy crap! I've been here 2 hours already. I didn't. The pacing was awesome. I did like the interiors of the submarines. I think they were very well constructed, especially when you're trying to make it look small, but still have room for a film camera to maneuver around in there. And I think they did an excellent job with that. The special effects are terrible. I mean, some of the worst I've ever seen. I think kindergartners nowadays could do something better than what the professionals did. But I think overall I was entertained and I would watch it again. This is probably my sixth time watching this one. So I mean, it's not a bad movie by any means, but it's not amazing either. I am going to give this one a 7.8.
All right. So John gives it a 7.8. So that means that The Hunt for Red October gets a 7.0.
Wow, solid 7.
Yep, exactly.
Nice.
A 7.0. So, with that, we need to spin to see what our next genre is going to be for next week's show. So, John, if you could do us the favors.
All right, and here we go.
Woo. Mystery. Nice. All right.
All right, so that means since I had the first pick of the season, that means either Eddie, John, or Kyle is going to have to pick a mystery. So, John, let's see who is going to have to pick a mystery.
Here we go.
Oh, man.
It's going to be Kyle.
I wasn't ready. So I am going to pick a movie from 2021 called Lamb.
Oh, shit.
This is a...
This
I don't
is an
know.
A24 film, right?
Yes, I don't know anything about this movie.
Fantastic.
I just saw the trailer and I'm like, yeah, I really want to add this to the show. So, the synopsis is a childless couple, Maria and Ingvar, or whatever, they're Scandinavian or Norwegian or something like that. They discover a mysterious newborn on their farm in Iceland. No, there they are in Iceland. The unexpected prospect of the family life brings them much joy before ultimately destroying them.
Yeah, and this is like a mystery thriller horror movie, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, it's drama, fantasy, horror, mystery.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
It looks really weird, and I've kind of heard that it flopped, but
Oh, really?
we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe we'll like it. Who knows? So with that, our next week that we're going to be taking a look at next Saturday is going to be 2021's Lamb. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and comment and let us know what you think about this new format that we're trying out. Let us know. We'll
And join
see you.
join our Patreon also, because Patreon members are actually watching this live as we speak, and we go live. Typically, try to go live every Tuesdays, but sometimes we move that left right depending on the days. If we're not feeling well, hopefully Eddie actually comes back raring to go next week because he's got he's got the crud or sickness or something like that. So it's a good thing we're doing this virtually. But if you'd like to join our Patreon, it's patreon.com/Screen Riot. So check us out there.
Yeah, and for everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, all the links are in the description below. So you can just click on our Patreon link and check out all the tiers. So with that, we'll see everybody next Saturday.
See you.
See ya.
See you.
Later.